and welcome to the stream. Now, if I sound a little off, I'm currently running 101 count, and I'm glad Tyler agreed to come in and help us out with the stream, because if I lose my voice, that's it for me. Still going to try, though. So thank you, Tyler, for coming in.
No problem, Ben.
I'm going to be sipping on some body armor for now. But today's topic was actually picked by one of you all on one of our local repeaters. And I don't think he's going to be joining us today. He joined us last week, actually. Chris, who was on the stream last week, asked what kind of antenna would be good for POTA. And it hit me. We have a topic for this week's stream. But we're not just going to talk about POTA antennas. We're going to talk about it all. So Tyler is an avid POTA hunter or activator. I'm sure he does both. I know he activates.
Oh, yeah.
He's joined me on several activations. So we figured we're pretty well in hand with what to do. I don't know. Have you got a kilo yet at one point?
No, I haven't hit that many. I like to bounce around anytime we're going on trips and stuff. So not yet.
I was gonna say you're the bouncer.
I like to get activated in as many states as I can.
Yeah. And here's me looking local and going, I don't like the fact that person's out of state and they have the lead. Anyway, I'm going to throw this out there, guys. That supporter page at the beginning that you saw there during the intro, if you want to get on that is a really easy way you can do that right there. Buy us a coffee. That'll get your name added to that supporter page. Or donate something like solar panels, like that, right, Tyler?
Absolutely.
Did anyone notice that the Tyler that's with us was on the supporter page? Now he's like a regular on the live stream too.
Probably not after this one. I mean, this gets done. As I see, I'm in beautiful Colorado right now. I hope they all believe that. And you froze up, Ben.
What? I froze up. Yeah, I see that.
There, you're back.
All right. Anyway, so what was your first setup, Tyler?
My first setup would have been a Wolf River coil and the FT991A. When I first got into ham radio back in April or so of 2020, I decided to go ahead and get a Wolf River coil and get my radio, and that's what I started with. Right there, what you're seeing that Ben's got, and that's what I still use today.
So you started with the Silver Bullet 1000, right?
Yes, I didn't. They did not have the platinum at that time.
All right. And I started extremely similar. I started with a mini. So we both went Wolf River coils. They are a good product, but in all honesty, Tyler, we could have went cheaper.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm easily influenced, and I saw something that didn't require a mast or throwing something in a tree. It was a standalone. I could take it wherever I wanted.
I completely agree. But my taste has actually kind of changed as of lately. I also started with a 991 Alpha. So, or not, well, that's my shack. Wow. 101 temps getting me. I started with an 891. And, we have the King or QRP probably kicking around here somewhere. And that's also that's an affordable radio to go to. The Zygu G90.
There's a lot of people that are using those.
I just, for me, I took into the life's too short for QRP, and I wanted to go QRO.
Let's say 100 watts all the way. Come on now.
And I very rarely run 100 watts.
I'm like you after, running that 991A and realizing, okay, this is pretty heavy. I have now switched to an 891 as my radio that goes with the POTA rig, or in my POTA pack, I should call it.
A homebrew octopus. That would be an interesting build. But speaking of builds, that is actually a cheaper way to go. Hey Tyler, did you see my video where I built a homemade 20-meter dipole?
I did.
You know how much that costs?
Probably not a whole lot.
It's like $10.
Yeah, that's a little bit cheaper than how we started.
It is. The thing is, that thing works amazing. And then my MVIS, which I know he's seen my MVIS, that cost like $30. And actually, I'll break some of it out. Yes, I have my POTA pack back here. That's the center of this MVIS antenna, guys. Just a little banana clip and a cutting board. I mean, that's it.
It doesn't get much simpler.
So the question that was asked to me is what kind of antenna, and I think we've thrown two options out. Just you could make yourself a cheap wire dipole. And yes, Dave, the random wire. Let me just tilt the camera so I don't have to pull it out. Wire screen. That's my new ground plane.
I need to try that.
Works really, really well.
And then you can also do the kits.
Kits, yep.
I've done one of those. It's fun. Seems to work well. I've used it for one POTA activation, and it did work really well there.
Yeah.
I cheated with it on the activation. I've got I think it's about a 25-foot aluminum mast, and rather than hooking something up in a tree, I hooked the end of, I put about 10 foot of rope from the mast over to this wire antenna, and then just lean the mast against a tree.
Was that the one you were kind of trying to be sneaky about?
Maybe. Some places don't like you attaching stuff to trees or putting ropes in trees. And I look at this as a way to, I shouldn't say get around that, but you can make it work that way.
I didn't mean to show that other slide yet. Smart experimenting vertical antennas. Oh my gosh, talk about a nice leeway. Tyler, you know what my go-to has been lately, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Same thing I've got.
So MFJ 1979 whip.
Yep.
Love this thing. Look at that, guys. $90. This is on DX Engineering. Now, don't tell the wife I'm on DX Engineering because I tend to spend money here. But I figured since we're showcasing stuff. Are you trying to get in, Jeff?
As I say, I think Jeff wants in. Evidently, he said something and we missed it.
I think he's picking on us. Hold on. Let me find the share. Maybe. I will figure this out. Or I won't. One of the two. Oh, invite. There we go.
Plasma Storm, I saw that DX Commanders are going to be sold at DX Engineering. Yeah. Might have to look into one of those.
Yeah, I want one.
I want about any of them. I mean, who wouldn't?
Right.
We're hams. We always want to try new stuff.
Jeff, check your Discord. Now I got to get everything else back up. There we go. Yeah, that DX engineering is a dangerous site for me. It really is. Now I got to watch to see when he joins in. Otherwise, he'll be sitting in limbo. My screen setup is I have very compact screen over here. And then my big share screen over here. Maybe I should flip that around. But
1 minute. We'll time him.
1 minute. Okay. Too bad I don't have that Jeopardy music. It's probably copyrighted anyway.
Oh, I'm sure. And people were talking about, I mean, on different sites and stuff, asking about, oh, what do you have to use, or what do you have? How do you haul stuff back and forth? I mean, because yeah, you can make it as big and complicated as you want, or as little. I mean, you might laugh, Ben, but when I went to look for something to haul my stuff in, I'll turn it around here so everybody can see. I don't know if you recognize. It's a diaper bag. It works.
It works.
Everything fits in it nice and handy. So between it and my little tripod bag, which, where'd I go with that? Oh. My tripod bag with my Wolf River coil, I'm good to go.
Yeah, and see, I got to carry a little bit more stuff because of camera equipment. So I actually just upgraded my tripod bag.
Oh, got a big boy.
That's got my vertical, my tripod for the Wolf River coil, and my tripod for the camera.
Nice.
I could probably sneak the actual phones and stuff in there too. Jeff's in limbo. Do I just keep him there? He's sitting there laughing at me. I could. Nah. Welcome to the stream, Jeff.
There he is.
Hey. Good evening.
I see one problem with this stream so far, guys. Do you guys see it? Jeff, you just came from watching the stream, Jeff. What was the one problem we had with there?
Not enough likes, I guess.
You heard the man. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, like the video, please.
Share it if you have any people you would like to annoy. I mean, educate. And again, sorry I'm sounding hoarse, guys. I'm running 101 temp right now. But I was going to have the stream go on.
Well, you started talking about different antennas, and then you kind of varied off a little bit on a tangent with radios.
We were waiting for you, Jeff.
What do you set up with, Jeff? Since you don't activate it all.
Oh, I never activate.
Like the entire state of Delaware.
No, I'm about halfway done. I'll get to the lower part eventually, or the rest of the lower part. Normally my go-to antennas have been ham sticks. I have a lovely bag that has all my ham sticks in there, easy to carry around, and they just work for me for the most part. But there's always room to try out new things, which I am slowly doing, and I have some new ideas that I want to try out.
So Jeff, do you do just a single ham stick, or do you set them with a dual and a dipole configuration?
I just do the single one. The dipole is something I do want to try out with the ham sticks. Just haven't gone there yet. Right now I use the tri-mag mount from MFJ, whatever model number that is, on top of my car, and plop the ham stick right in there and just go to town.
I've thought about doing something like that, but then I remembered that I own a Ford and it's aluminum.
Yeah, that's the problem. I've told people what I do, and then they try to duplicate what I do although they don't have the same vehicle that I do. So then they have issues, and I'm like, well, I don't know. You need to compensate for the lack of magnetic metal on your car, and do something else uh, like counterpoises or something,
Sure.
or
Ben,
take it
didn't you
off
do
your.
that on yours before?
Pardon?
What was that?
Ben, did you use yours a hamstick or something, or was it your Wolf River coil on your truck once?
It was Wolf River. What I have is I've got a fender mount, and I'll put my Wolf River coil on the fender mount. So, or my MSJ 1979. I'll just fender it up, and then I already have the coax running in because it's my VHF UHF mount. So, hey guys, Chris had a pretty interesting question in there. For my answer, I use all pre-made cables.
My current cable I use for POTA is pre-made, but I do have the capability with my job and stuff to make my own cables. So I have that equipment. All my cables here at the house I've made myself.
Yeah, I just saw that in the chat. It's a Lixada, Lixada, fishing rod bag or fishing pole bag on Amazon. It's kind of like a roll-up vinyl bag that has different sleeves inside of it. I did a video of it last year where I showed it out, and it has keeps the ham sticks in there nicely for the most part. I don't think they still make it anymore. I haven't been able to find it. But I have the name of it in all of my videos, so just go to any of the videos to the description, and the name of the item that I had is in there.
Any more questions, guys? I'm trying to snag them as I see them in the chat. And Tyler, Jeff, if you guys see them in the chat, feel free to put them up on screen too if I miss some.
I don't know if I can, but I could give it a try.
I was gonna say you're asking an awful lot.
Hey, it's what I do.
Oh, I think I see it. Okay, I think I
yeah, you just highlight it in StreamYard and it'll hit show and
okay. Then I don't need the YouTube chat up. I have this up then.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yep. So yeah. We got the carrying devices. You know what I have for my main carrier device? I've got a Master Force tool carrier.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, for just like the ham sticks alone, or for any radio, or I mean any antenna, it really depends on the size of the antenna, how much it breaks down. When I was doing the research for somewhere to carry multiple ham sticks at once, I know some people like to just take the locking screw on the ham stick on the metal whip and have it go down into the fiberglass pole part of it. And then they say mark it with a marker so you always know where the spot is. But I just unscrew both of them and put both pieces in one sleeve of my bag, and it separates them right there. So it makes so much easier. But there are so many different ideas that I saw on I think it was a thread on the Facebook group, on the POTA Facebook group, on how to do it. And I have my own ideas, but I didn't think the material would be strong enough with the weight of whatever 6-7 ham sticks that I have. And then if you have like a Wolf River coil, I mean, you have the whip, which is what, 20 inches or 24 inches long when it's collapsed.
Yeah,
and then
roughly 18 to 24, somewhere around in there.
And then the coil and the base with the 3 legs in it, whichever one you get, the smaller one or the larger one. I mean, if you could have a collection, I have a collection of Cordura bags from a company that I do a lot of business with, and I give them a lot of business basically. But there are so many different ways and things that you could do with whatever bags that you have. If you have like a duffel bag, you could always say you wrap the coil in a old towel and maybe wrap the legs together, and then you put the whip in there a certain way. I mean, so many different ways to carry stuff around. It's it's awesome to see what people do. Just like if you go to a group POTA meetup and everyone has their own setup and you see their own antennas and their rigs and how they take this QRP radio and stuck it into a briefcase or something. It's really cool what people come up with.
Yeah. Buy used radios. I've never bought a used radio, but my 991 Alpha in my shack was given to me by a now silent ham. Thank you again to the family if they watch this for the donation. And again, sorry for the loss, but I'm really glad you thought about me when it came. And my 991A is awesome. Did you guys get any used radios?
I have not. I purchased both my 891 and the 991A. Both those were new.
Yeah, I've done new also. It's probably goes back to the fact that if you don't know who you're buying from, like say if you see something on like QRZ's swap meet pages, I mean, yeah, they display their call sign, and for the most part, you can look up their information because we have access to that stuff on whatever call log you want to use to look up people. But still, they could still screw you over.
I take that back. I have bought. I've got a 2-meter radio that I bought here local at the swap meet, and I did buy the Anytone like you've got there with the handheld. I bought it used off QRZ. Yeah.
I'm not saying all people it's like a dangerous place and you're going to get screwed. But
you've got to watch. Yes.
Yes, you got to watch. And if you're getting it from someone local that you probably talk to, like on the repeaters in your area, that's awesome. Like I thought about selling my G90 when I first had issues, and it would have been to someone local for the most part because I know who they are. They probably know who I am, and for the most part, I think we all trust each other. For the most part, but when you're doing it online, the possibility of deception is stronger there, and the element of crime is still there. So it's easier to do it. I would recommend people would do it locally and from a respectable hand that they know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as they don't try to cheat you, which I don't think they would locally, because you're all in the same area and you're all trying to do the same thing. But like I see all these videos of people going to ham fests, and I see all those nice, gorgeous looking old vintage radios. And I'm like, oh, that's cool looking. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's from the 50s. Oh, I love that design. I would like to get that kind of gear. But you know what? I don't trust those people. And I don't think that some of that stuff probably even works. So all that vintage stuff, I love that vintage look in a lot of things. And it's cool, but I don't trust those people. They don't have it operating and working in front of me, then I just can't trust it. But
a lot of it, I think, is buyer beware.
Yeah. I mean,
and Tyler, I'm glad you brought up the handhelds because this goes especially for those techs out there. If all you have is a handheld and you want to get started in POTA, if you have mountains around you, all you need is a handheld. Get up on a tall mountaintop. That's a POTA destination. Go on your local repeaters and say, hey, I'm going to start a POTA activation on this frequency. Switch open to the simplex frequency, and you can activate parks on the air with a 5-watt handheld.
Yep.
If you got the elevation and people know you're out there, you can do it. There's videos out all over YouTube with Summits on the Air activators. All they're using are handhelds. A lot of them don't even bother with HF.
Yep. I would recommend that for anyone that has a large group of hams in the area that are active. I know, like Charlie from Red Summit RF. He lives in, I believe it is the Phoenix area. Yeah. There is a lot of amateur radio activity in the Phoenix area, and that city is surrounded by mountains. And it's really cool to see the activity that he gets, even on just VHF on a handheld. It's really freaking awesome. Even probably not as large of destinations, because I was driving through Eastern Tennessee, the western tip of Virginia, and they have repeaters on top of mountains. And the distance, I don't know about parks, but I'm just saying there is a great distance. So if there was a park on said mountain, there would be people around there to be able to hopefully do the activation. If you get them, catch them on the repeater, say, hey, go to whatever simplex frequency
Yep.
and help me out, please. That would
Yeah.
be awesome.
And definitely remember that. You can't use the repeater to make the contact, but you can use the repeater just like you can use the spotting page.
Yep.
I am here. Come get me. So that is fair game. But I think one thing we haven't talked about yet, and Tyler and I talked about this beforehand, power. You can do this as cheap or as expensive as you want it to. We're
Yep.
sure most people have a car battery laying around. That's a good power supply. I used one for over a year. Didn't I, Tyler?
Oh yeah, it's just a little harder to get them into the more remote places, but you get a workout coming to and from. So hey, why not?
I lugged one of those to the top of Pilot Knob.
Exactly. If you don't have the money, say you have $50 and the battery at Pep Boys or your local car deal or car parts place is $50, then go for it. If you want to be the one to lug that around and to put it into your car, to take it out, to maybe push it or wheel it to a picnic bench or just work out from your car, that's awesome. Now, if you can afford whatever super duper lithium iron phosphate super duper amp hour battery, that's awesome too. And if you want to buy the teeny tiny little micro battery to power your 1 milliwatt radio to do parks on the air, that is awesome also.
Just whatever it takes to get it on.
Yeah, and if you have there's actually a local ham. He has a pickup truck and he has a trailer. And the way he does his POTA activations when he does is he takes the trailer. He has like a table built in there and a few car batteries to power. And I'm like, if that's the way you want to do it, that is awesome.
Right now, DX Engineering, 3 amp hour LifePo battery, $50. And that's if
Yep.
you have the money to just get the light battery.
Yeah, I like Bioenno personally.
Yep.
I like to buy it directly from Bioenno, just because if you do need the charger for it, they will recommend the exact charger that battery that you want to purchase needs.
Oh, and I completely agree. I'm just using DX Engineering
Yeah,
because I'm on the site.
I'm just giving my opinion. That's
Yep.
all it was.
Where'd Tyler go? Tyler disappeared.
Here's something. Let's see if I can do this. I guess I can't click on. There's Tyler.
Sorry about that.
Well, one fodder put up a question. What about power for us digi people? I guess you mean digital modes?
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
One fodder? Digital modes? Maybe we could get a clarification.
I mean, if you're using if you're doing like an FT8 or FT4 activation, I mean, hopefully your laptop, you top off the battery before you start out. I know that little tiny Evo laptop that was like the rage for like a few months ago is like $65 laptop, and there's like 3 different versions of the laptop. It all had different internal guts. Those worked off of could be connected up to your ham radio battery, whatever battery you wanted. Depends on your radio and what else you want to power. I mean, if you have like a 20 or 30, 40, 50, 100 amp hour battery and you have it in a box and you have USB cables and you maybe say you built the box and you put in like the high powered USB charger port on there, connect your laptop to that if your laptop can be charged via USB, as most modern ones can.
Right there.
Yeah, the Surface Pro, that makes it easier to charge. Now I know your regular laptops, yeah, unfortunately, you're kind of stuck with however you can get it charged. And people I saw do the inverters if you have to do that. You just the thing you run into there is you want to make sure your inverter doesn't mess with you and cause a lot of hash. So you want to make sure you have a clean inverter. So there's all kinds of options out there.
Oh
I
yeah.
see somebody talking about the My 80 batteries, or however you want to pronounce them. That's what I run also, is one of those. I think it cost me $50 on Amazon a couple of years ago, with the thoughts that, hey, eventually I'll probably go to a Bioenno or see what we can do. And I thought, well, I'll run this till it dies. Here I am 2 years later or longer, actually going into its third year now, and it's still working fine.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much money you want to spend. I know there's a lot of the other YouTubers have done numerous reviews on multiple batteries. The Miata, the Bioenno, and some other Chinese brands. As long as it works, who cares?
And the way
If you can afford a Bioenno power battery, then and it makes you happy, buy it. If you want to buy a cheaper battery off of Amazon, and if it's going to make you happy, and that's like your budget, then buy it. There's no wrong way or right way to pick your antenna, radio, power, as long as it all works together and
and
you can
the,
get on the air.
the way I see it, if you're spending $20 on a battery and it dies, you're out $20.
Yeah.
It's just like the UV5Rs that everyone's first ham radio, the Battlefield UV5Rs. If you throw it in the lake or you dump it in the lake, drop it off of a tree stand, who cares? It's $30.
Yep.
I mean, I see the same way with the battery. If you're spending $20 on a battery, it dies. Okay, go get another one.
Well,
yeah, as long as you're getting on the air, who cares? I mean,
yeah.
that's what this whole thing is about. Get out, have fun, try things.
Yeah, and one fodder just brought up another point. Just checking, because last time it was out for about 6 hours. Well, you also got to take that in consideration. Do you have all day to spend out at the park doing FT8 or whatever mode your heart desires for parks on the air? You got to take that in consideration for your power, because I know, at least from my experience, Windows laptop batteries do not last that long. They might, but it's my work ones never did. I've always had them connected to power. But yeah, you got to take that into consideration. How long you gonna be out for will also determine the size battery that you're gonna need and how you're gonna power everything else. If you're using a computer, even just for SSB, well, if you're using a computer for digital and the battery dies, you're kind of SOL. But always have a backup with you. So if your laptop you're logging onto or tablet dies, pull out your little notebook and start writing it down. It's happened to me.
Right, Ben? Always carry a backup.
Your battery completely dies and you forget that you can use your truck battery and just get rage quit. You rage quit. Last POTA video, anyone? Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently they're talking about us in the dumpster fire, if you guys didn't see that comment. So, hey, where's Popular's ham radio Clubhouse? We got a dumpster fire chat going.
Plasma Storm, you are correct. Whatever works for you works for you. Don't worry about competing with everybody else. Just get on the air. That's what the whole name of the game is.
A lot of people, I've noticed this so many times on anywhere, but mostly in like the Parks on the Air group on Facebook. I mean, people will ask, what's a good antenna to use? What's a good laptop to use? What's a good radio to use? Whatever, battery, whatever. I mean, whatever you can afford, and as long as it gets you on the air, it's a good. Now, if you get an antenna that there's no trees around and you need to throw it into one, then that's bad planning. You got to also take into account where you're going to go.
Which is why I like my verticals.
Yeah, that's why I like them too, because I don't have to worry about can I go to a park bench? Can I be near my car? And if I can't be near my car, I've made plans to be able to be away from my vehicle and do the activations. And I have had an MPass 2.0, which is semi-retired only used if I really need it or for parts, we'll say. I did buy a Bistick Pro in the event. Well, when I do go out into the Delaware River, onto an island that is a park, and the only way to get there is through a state ferry. So, got to be light on my feet. So, I'm taking that into account and planning it out. But I also want to use that antenna for other things too. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got a couple different antennas. I need to go set up the NVIS antenna actually sometime. Do another activation with that, but that NVIS antenna, it's off, ground stakes. So I mean, I don't need trees for that. But that's like my go-to wire antenna when I'm not using a vertical, and it stands 3 feet off the ground. And if you're not paying attention, you could trip over it and break it.
yeah, that's one thing about antennas with like radials and stuff like that. You always got to be careful. Um, I was just watching some videos earlier about some wire antennas, and I think I might try some out. I just got to get the parts together and find some wire. But it was Mike November 2, Mike Alpha Kilo, and he has radials all out, and he had like little cones on them to make sure people weren't going to step on it. But it was also in the middle of winter, and he was the only one in the park. But still, it is a safety thing. Even if you had one person running through the park, you want them to know that you got your stuff out there. So,
Yeah, we had that post there about hitting that lake. I hope people saw that. 42-inch Brew, put it in the backpack, hook it to an HT and trap. It's about elevation, all things radio.
height is might.
If you got a mountaintop or you got a fire watch lookout or something where you can get up above, we touched on it earlier. You can hit local repeaters, run out and say, hey, I'm going to be activating on this simplex frequency, get people looking for you. That Brew will work you wonders, but the higher you go, the better.
Yeah. I just bought a Slim Jim antenna for almost that same purpose, just to get out further with an HT, and to carry it with me in the event that I might need to maybe put it in a tree to get some height on that thing. Height is might. I said earlier I was driving through Tennessee and Virginia, repeaters on towers, and the footprint was huge for those repeaters. I was so surprised because Delaware, there's no big mountains. Our highest point's like 415 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
One thing, when we were back to a little bit on power, I saw someone mentioned earlier about solar. As Ben has, and I've got a couple options, and I'm guessing maybe Jeff does too. If you're going to be there a little while, maybe Jeff doesn't, I guess. If you're planning on being there a while and you have the ability to do a solar panel, I mean, you can do that and help extend your activations, and that will help you if you have a smaller battery. You've got options, but there again, solar usually costs more. I mean, that's something else you have to buy, and with your panels, your solar charge controllers, there again, you have to be careful with those. Some of those cause noise on the HF bands. So there's lots of good information out there, guys. If you're looking into that, just do a little research. There's places all over that people will tell you what's worked for them, what hasn't worked. My activations are typically short enough. They're within a few hours, so my battery usually lasts fine. If I want to play with the solar, I can. I have that option. But sometimes it's just more that you have to haul. And sometimes less is better in that case, too.
I went with solar strictly for the fact when I do rows up north, I want to keep that battery topped off, or I might not have my necessarily a battery charger with me. So if I'm up at my folks' camper, I left my battery charger here. I can hook up the solar charger to that battery. I can top off the battery while I'm at the camper, and then go out and hit up another park.
Yeah, solar is definitely something I want to get into. My activations usually do not go more than my single activation when it's only me, more than like 2 hours, maybe 3, depending on the amount of time I have. But I don't have time to sit out at a park for 6-8 hours to make contacts. Eventually, when I want to go camping, I'll eventually do that. But even for emergency purposes, I want to get the solar power just so that I can charge up my 30 amp hour battery. If the event that there was no more power in the area, a blackout, hurricane takes out power or something in my area, then I have a way to charge my battery, at least still be able to get on the air or charge some of my devices. Now, saying that 30 amp hour battery, yeah, I could use that probably for multiple activations without having to recharge it. Well, the idea behind that battery and why I went with that one is for when I do go camping, I don't have to worry about recharging it probably all weekend, depending on what I do that weekend. And also, I could power my phone, my tablet to keep them at least not from going completely dead um, during my time out. So
I need to stop by and get that antenna. I wasn't exactly sure who that was, but when I see this comment, I know exactly who it is. I need to run over to Altoona and pick up that antenna. I thought he broke it out. Apparently, he's still waiting for me to do the unboxing, and then I'm going to have a super antenna versus Wolf River coil going down. But
I'm not sure what model that is, but I have seen one super antenna. It was like a combination between it's basically like a Wolf River coil kind of similar antenna. I think they gave you some directions and guides on how to use the antenna.
on my channel, we had a Wolf River coil versus super antenna, but the super antenna was busted, so it wasn't a fair fight.
Come on, you don't have to let them know that part of it.
And customer service was horrible because that individual just gave up on customer service.
You know, something else we need to hit on before this is all done is logging. There's multiple ways to log. We're talking about people having laptops if they're doing digital. You could take a laptop, or there's you've got Ben's got a tablet. I've got a little iPad I use, and Jeff's got another there. But you can do it that way, or you can break out the old pencil and paper. There's been times where I've been out starting with my iPad, and unfortunately, it's electronics. It'll glitch. And what do? You have a pen and paper right there, or pen or pencil, and a pad of paper, and just keep going right there.
Yep.
Yes, it makes it a little more difficult later on, or a little more work when you get back to make sure you get everything put in correctly. But it works, guys. Always have that as a backup. And one last thing. Yes, Jeff?
Well, I'm just saying that you're completely correct to have it as a backup. And yes, it is a lot of work to do it completely on paper. I learned that the hard way when I first started doing Parks on the Air. Probably for a good, actually, I don't remember how long I've done it for. Yep, I have something just like that. There's a lot of human error when you're typing in from your log piece of paper into your computer. There's a lot. No matter who you are not the best data entry person. I am not the best data entry person. No one is. You're going to mess up.
Now about not being the best, you know something else you really want to take with you guys?
Yep. Band plan is good.
The huge by large band plan, so you can see it from across the park, Ben.
The latest addition to the shack, guys. It goes behind the camera.
That's awesome. I didn't know they made them that big, but that's very cool.
They don't.
Well, I guess you probably had it made or something like that, but that's very awesome. Very awesome to have in the shack. And I have a copy of it on my tablet, so it's there. And if by chance my tablet dies like it did one time because it was facing the sun and overheated and died, and luckily I did have a notebook to continue logging. I do have a good general idea of where my general privileges are on the majority of the bands. I might need a refresher every once in a while, but worst comes to worst, I know by heart, by memory, that where I need to be on 20 and 40.
Yeah.
And worst comes to worst, if I can't remember where I need to be for any other band I might want to try, then I'll just go to 20 and 40 as long as they're working. So
That's a good idea right there too.
Absolutely.
yep, have like a laminated copy, like a piece of paper with a laminated copy, a file on your computer or laptop, or taped to your clipboard. Um, you cannot go wrong with any copy of it as long as it's up to date, and um, you can't lose it or have it destroyed by like if rain starts happening or something like that. But
Yeah.
even a physical laminated copy in your radio, if you have a box or wherever you keep your radio or cables, um, as another backup in case your computer or tablet dies and that's the only copy you have on there. So
And actually, I got that big copy for two reasons. One, to have behind the have behind the shack in here. But two, if I'm out doing a demonstration or something, like we have a statewide POTA outing, or I head down to Pella for field day or one something there, I can bring that along. And then when we have passerby show up and they're like, well, where can you operate at? Because that's come up. We can physically show them. And it's not the small little band plan that you're sitting there. You can literally just present it to them.
I have a
So,
question about that, Ben.
yes.
Does that have the was it 600 meters and the 2200 meters on there?
It's got 630 meters and 2200. It's
All right.
literally it's the pull out you get at any Hamfest.
Okay.
This is the copy it was.
I haven't been to a ham fest in a while, so
Yep.
I go by what's online, and they do have a revision date on them. So I do look for the newest ones whenever um, I'm looking at it. It's also good. I know they're not usable by the majority of people, and you'll learn that when you study for your extra, folks. Um, but it's also good knowledge to have. Even if like you're talking to people, like you said, Ben, you can say, hey, then there's these other bands that are new and they're experimental, and this is like 1 watt and this one's like 5 watts maximum power you could use. It might spark someone's interest to get into that on those bands. You
Well,
never know.
you got to remember when I got into ham radio, it was dead.
Oh yeah, they weren't
So,
even.
no, I mean, literally, I didn't know it existed. It was dead. So, getting in the ham radio, seeing a band plan, that could be like, oh, people go, ham radio, yeah, that was back in World War One. No, we got a lot of space. We look at all these bands we can operate on. It's not dead. It's active.
Yeah, if you look at if you Google on the internet like radio frequency spectrum, it goes from like 0 all the way up to the gigahertz, and it's like one line, just going through all the different bands that's available and who can use them. It's really interesting to actually see how big that is, and where like TV lies, where the amateur bands lie, what's in between the different bands. It's really cool.
I do not carry a small tuner with me. I do know people who do.
My radios, the ones that I currently have in possession, have a ATU in there. I ordered a radio without one, and I am waiting just to see what will happen when it gets here. So I'm going to wait on that. And I will have an ATU, external ETU when that comes after. Well, after that comes.
I do have an external ATU that I purchased for going out and traveling. Honestly, I've never taken it out of the box and used it yet because I've never needed with any of the antennas I have. I do carry a antenna analyzer with me because my 891 should have the tuner and stuff in it. So that way I can get it tuned down to the best SWR, make sure everything's viable before I key up so I don't blow up a radio or cause any issues.
To get the antenna tuned.
Yes, sorry.
Well, I just wanted to make that a little bit more clear if people didn't copy that. But yeah, there's a difference between a tuner, an antenna tuner, and an antenna analyzer. The tuner works when you're on the air. The analyzer helps you lower the SWR before you're on the air.
And that being said, there are cheap and expensive analyzers.
Yes,
You can
there
go
are.
with it. You can go with the Nano VNA. You can go with Rigs Expert, like I got. I mean, an analyzer is a wonderful tool, but there are ways you can also bring your SWR down without having one.
Yep.
You just got to learn how, and I've got a video on how to do that also.
Yep. You could probably do it with any radio with as long as it has an SWR meter.
Yep.
You probably, I guess you could probably do it if your radio doesn't have one, but I would think all more modern radios within the past 20 some years probably do have one in one shape or another or one form of another. But yes, it's also good to learn how to do it that way also.
Yep. Search my channel and just search tuning an antenna without a tuner. You should be able to find it. It's really easy. It's really meticulous. It takes a while, but it'll get you on the air. So I love my analyzer though.
Yeah,
Man, that makes life a lot easier.
Oh, it does.
Definitely.
Yeah, I got a Rig Expert Stick Pro, and I just love the thing. Still don't know how to use it that well, but I can use it. And I tuned all my ham sticks, and I don't have to worry about retuning them, unless I think one might need to be adjusted a little bit here and there. And I've used it with my Buddy Stick Pro to get that to be good. That's a little bit more trickier, but any antenna really can be tricky depending on if you know what you're doing or not, or how many moving parts it might have too.
I think Random Wire put it right there. Tune for noise.
Yeah.
That's actually how you do it. You listen to the greatest amount of noise, and yeah, like I said, you look at the video, it explains it all. But get on AM and get the biggest noise, get the loudest white noise you can, and then go put out a 5-watt CW bleep, and it'll let you know what your SWR is. And like I said, do it at 5 watts. Go really QRP with this, because if your SWR is through the roof, you don't want to hurt the radio as much as you can.
Yeah, that's true.
So never do it at 100. Do it at 5.
I think some of those like Chinese ATUs, which I've been looking at, but I just don't know. They really say you shouldn't use more than like, make sure your radio is below X amount of wattage before using it, or you might damage something. So less power, the better.
One other thing I wanted to mention. Yes, I agree with Random Wire there. An analyzer is the best way to protect your investment if you absolutely want to get in, get it done, and not have to take the time to try to tune it via the way Ben's talking. So I agree with that.
And
one other.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, if you're going to buy an antenna analyzer, go with your budget, but also go with the bands that you plan on operating. I know that the larger, actually all the Rig Expert units, they actually have a new stick or 2 new sticks out too. They go up to X amount of megahertz. So in the event you have the money to buy like the whatever it is, the AA 12,000 or 1200, just remember that goes up to 12 gigahertz or 1.2 gigahertz. My fault. But if you don't plan on activating or using the radio up that high, then don't buy that one.
That's just investing a lot of money in something that you could put it in. I mean, you won't use it there necessarily. You could put it into something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now, if you're planning to do that, that's another story. But I still wouldn't get it until you're actually doing it. Don't think ahead of that. Buy what you're using now. You may never get into doing the gigahertz stuff. I don't think I will, but I did not go out and buy a gigahertz antenna analyzer. So
one thing I did want to mention about Parks on the Air with your activation and stuff, whether you're new to this or not, I mean, there is the POTA.app. Their webpage is a great source of information. The thing you do want to remember is you're supposed to have 10 contacts in a park to activate the park. But if you do not get those 10, still still put your logs in, still submit them, because those people that you have contacted, whether it may be 1 or maybe 9, they still want that activation to be put in there, so they will still, and they still get their
Credit.
they get credit for those. Thank you, credit for those contacts. So it's very important. Even if you don't get your 10, put that log in there so they can get their credit.
Definitely. I went through that when I first started. Kind of part of the reason why I do what I do on YouTube. Proof of contact.
There you go. I'm glad Tyler touched on that, because I would have completely forgot about it. And then again, I'm sweating like a pig over here.
Well, you could always do it in another show too. I mean,
well, you could do a show just by itself on the POTA website.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, there are a lot of stuff to cover. And actually, I still have a video that I want to do from something on their website, which I still need to get back to and re-record the commentary part of it. So I haven't done that yet.
Well, Jeff, what do you got coming up on your channel? I know you just talked about a POTA video, or a Parks on the Air video.
Well, I did 3 activations last weekend when I went down and then back up to Virginia. Been working on getting the basic edits of those done, and started on the 3rd one today. Oh boy, I gotta get one of them done probably for Tuesday night. Releasing it Tuesday night, but we'll see what happens with my work schedule and my other time.
Tyler, you got anything going on? I know you're not a big YouTuber or anything, but I mean, you got anything going on with radio?
No, not anything major, except for field day coming up here in a few weeks.
I keep seeing the emails about that.
Yep. And the week of the 4th of July, I will actually be in Canada on a fishing trip. But within about 30 miles of where I'm going, there is a park that has never been activated. So I'm going to maybe try to sneak up there and see if I can activate that park while I'm up there.
You'll have to let us know what week that is so we can look for you.
I heard some of those parks are like in literally remote areas that you actually have to use a machete to get into.
This one isn't, thankfully. I've done a little research, and I'm going to reach out to the camp owner that's a good friend of ours up there, that hopefully he can give me a little more intel on it before I head up that way.
Cool. Very cool.
Well, I would like to get out and do a POTA, but I didn't plan on being sick with 101 temp today. So I might have to recover, and it might have to wait another week. Typically, when you call off sick to work, they like you to actually be sick. I think this is proof of concept that this is 24 hours after I was supposed to be at work, and I still sound like horse crap. So if I get in trouble with work, well, they can come back and watch the stream. But that's all I got going on. I'd love to do a POTA. I think next week, knock on wood, we're going to be talking to Northern Iowa Amateur Radio Group, the communications guy up in Mason City. I tried to get him on this week, but he decided he had to go to a funeral. And I think he's activating parks on the way, because he was asking me POTA questions before he left. Like, hey, is this a twofer? And it was. But so next week we should have Justin with the Mason City group. Oh, man. I think they want me to dance.
It happened.
You know what? Hit that damn dance track. We're gonna go back here. Okay, I'm done. No more. Oh gosh, that took a lot out.
You set yourself up for that. I mean, you started doing it. Now everyone's going with it. So
you know what? It was getting to a point there. If we did not raise that bar to 10, I would have had to do one like 5 minutes in.
I think you did a few times, didn't you?
There was a couple of them. We started streams with the dance because we had 5 likes. Last minute giveaway. Plasma, are you trying to give away something? I was going to say, we don't have a giveaway until we get 500 subscribers. And if you would like to help support whatever goes into that giveaway.
No, he was saying that you only need like 82 or so subscribers to get to that giveaway point.
So
you're up to 419. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Nagoya 771. Ooh, I could do that.
I really need to
not right
do
now.
mine.
I've got the giveaway box sitting right there. We just got to get the 500, guys.
One Potter there. So next time, how many likes not to see that? Well, more than 10.
Yeah. You got to double it within the first few minutes.
Yeah.
20 within the first few minutes.
If you want that bar to go higher, One Fodder, we need to have like 10 in 5 minutes. Because if I get like 3 or 4 streams where there's like 10 before the stream even starts, I'm going to pump that up to 20 or 15 or 20. So I don't want to be dancing the whole stream.
Yeah, it would be only you dancing.
Plasma's on you, Ben.
I know. He forgets I'm a poor security officer. I think someone else just said something too. I'm just waiting for it to hit the stream text. We're in overtime right now. Plasma donating the antenna to give away now. He's going to give away an antenna right now. Okay, so
this just got interesting.
So how do I do a giveaway on this?
I have no clue, but there are probably some websites out there that you can go to that will pick comments from your stream if you look for like a specific word or something, I guess.
Let me try. Stream comment giveaway.
Nothing like putting you on the spot.
Right? Pick a random stream comment I need.
StreamYard has a giveaway tool, he says.
But do I have access to it?
Are you using the free version of StreamYard?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me see. Giveaway being yes. That's not what I want to do. I got to do some Googling. We'll get around to this. We're going to go live until I can figure this out.
Jeff might fall asleep. It's getting late for him out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's play Stump the Host, the randomizer says.
In a new
there you go.
tab open. Okay. Here we go. What should our giveaway word be?
Cinnamon.
Our giveaway word is going to be plasma. Lowercase. Hashtag plasma. I've decided. There it is. There's your giveaway word. Throw that into the chat if you want to enter. And I actually just entered myself.
Excuse me.
So if you want a chance to win an antenna from Plasma Storm, a Nagoya 771, I've got 3 people entered. Come on, we got 10 people watching. 10 people want to watch That's right. 10 people want a chance to get this, right?
Sorry, Plasma. It is getting late for me, and I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
I don't blame him. No, he is not on IRO because he's not part of IRO. He is not in Iowa.
Just like I'm not in there either because I'm
Nope.
not in Iowa.
But Footer, you're going to have to put that hashtag plasma on a post by itself. I've got 5 entries.
And you misspelled it too. There he goes. He has it in there.
There we go.
Well, Chris, you can't be part of it.
I am in Wisconsin. Yeah. Do I go with 5 people? We got 11 people watching. Hashtag plasma, guys. Lowercase plasma. And he is giving away a Nagoya 771. And I tell you what, if I win it, it's going in the box for the $500 subscriber giveaway. So it will get given away no matter what. I'm not going to keep it, even though I love those antennas.
Well, should I enter? I mean, I could donate it to your cause.
If you want to, Jeff. We only have 5 entries right now.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No, don't.
Uh-oh. He's got one for your box also, Ben.
Oh, so we're going to give it away. You know what? If I win it, then we'll just have to do a redraw.
There you go.
All right, we're going to go with 6 entries. We're already almost 10 minutes into overtime.
We get paid extra, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I would believe we would.
Overtime. Time and a half.
Guess what? We're going to do a redraw because guess who just won?
The
Plasma?
first one that had.
First time. So we're doing a redraw because I just won. Congratulations, All Things Radio.
Oh, you ran it again that quickly. Cool.
You are the winner.
Congratulations.
Share the screen. Yeah, I should.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea to share the screen.
It's still up, though.
There you go.
There it is.
Oh, with 6 people, you have 1 in 6 chances to get to be picked. So
get a hold of Plasma, and he'll get your antenna sent out. Thank you, Plasma, for supporting the stream. That was completely random and uncalled for. I'm really glad he did it because that's awesome. So congratulations, All Things Radio. I'm choking over here.
Don't choke.
Yeah.
We're here for you. Sorry, we can't help you physically, but we're here for you.
All Things Radio and Plasma, you guys good? Or do we need to leave it up a little bit more?
Yeah, Ben, you should go to bed. You should listen to the Random Wire.
I'm getting there. I'm just waiting to make sure that they're all good before we.
It looks like they're good.
Okay. Well, I am going to hit the outro, guys, because I am dying over here. I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching. Thank you again, Plasma, for that last second giveaway. I'm going to go find what my bed looks like. Have a good one. 7-3.
7-3, everyone.
There, guys.